Today on KUJH, we'll have the latest following a KU men's basketball player suspended after a DUI.
The University Daily Kansan announces it will be moving to all digital as news bins around campus are removed.
And I'm Keegan Hewitt, live from Allen Fieldhouse, where I will be previewing tonight's exhibition game matchup between the Kansas Jayhawks and the Emporia State Hornets, coming up on KUJH.
Good afternoon and welcome back to KUJH. I'm Ryan Butler.
And I'm Emily Johnson. Kansas men's basketball star Jaylen Wilson is suspended following his arrest on suspicion of DUI. Wilson failed a field sobriety test overnight Saturday.
Jail records show that he was booked into the Douglas County Jail early Sunday morning and was released nearly 2 hours later on bond. Head coach Bill Self discussed Wilson's punishment during yesterday's news conference.
We're going to suspend him tomorrow's game, exhibition game. We're going to suspend him the first 3 games of the regular season. And he will also serve community hours during his suspension and do some community service. So that's what we have decided, and certainly think that's fair, and certainly hate to have to do it at all. But the decision he made was obviously very poor. He's owned it. He's acted like a man, and he's determined to spin it into a positive over time in some way, shape, or form. And I know he'll work hard to do that. So that's what's going to happen with Jaylen.
Wilson took to social media to make a statement saying, quote, "To my family, friends, coaches, teammates, and Jayhawk Nation, first and foremost, I want to apologize to all of you for my mistake this past weekend. I accept full responsibility for my actions and am extremely remorseful in my lack of judgment. I know it wouldn't be fair for me to ask for forgiveness right now, so instead I plan to show you the true man I am and my true character through my actions and behavior moving forward. Again, I am truly sorry," end quote.
Wilson will be eligible to return on November 25th when the Jayhawks face North Texas in the opening round of ESPN Events Invitational.
Concerns about lead in Lawrence drinking water have come to light after some customer complaints. KUJH reporter Johan Marin tells us how Lawrence officials plan to resolve this issue.
It felt like my stomach was hurting.
For some, fatigue and a grumbling stomach are just stomachache symptoms. But for 12-year-old Vicky Burge, it was lead poisoning. 3 months ago, Vicky's mother, Stella Garcia, found out about Vicky's condition after a visit to the doctor. I took her to the doctor and they gave me the results. They told me they found lead in her system from drinking tap water. Shocked by the results, Garcia contacted the Lawrence Municipal Services and Operations.
City of Lawrence Water Quality Manager Josh Taves says situations like Garcia's are common, but they're not severe.
When Kansas was being built and put into place, lead service lines were put in all around Kansas.
Many residents in Lawrence are unaware there may be lead in their tap water. One way to check is with a home lead test kit. By filling a test tube with a droplet of water from a glass of tap water and then submerging your lead strip in the test tube. After 10 minutes, if your lead strip has 2 blue lines, city officials say to contact your local water services. Taves says Lawrence residents' lead worries will soon end with new city revisions.
Put out a public inventory and map of our service lines throughout the whole system. And so right now what we're working on is we're trying to gather information for that inventory.
City officials plan to implement this public inventory at the end of the year to replace any service lines needed. Reporting for KUJH, Johan Marin.
If you have any concerns about the quality of water in your home, you can call the Lawrence Municipal Services and Operations Department at 785-832-7800.
Standing tall on the corner of 19th and Naismith, Oliver Hall hasn't been renovated since its opening in 1966.
After shutting its doors over 2 years ago, KU made the decision to tear down Oliver Hall completely instead of renovation. Sarah Waters, director of KU Student Housing, laid out the updated plans.
So the plan to demolish Oliver, it's a multi-phased plan, as you can imagine. Big building, very key location. Right now, we are still getting all of the engineering and the architectural pieces done for demolition. Nothing will happen at least until summer of 22, but it's not confirmed to come down in summer 22 yet.
Summer of 2022 will be the earliest it gets taken down due to road closures and safety concerns. The space underneath Oliver Hall will be backfilled and grass planted, creating a lawn space on the corner.
At KU, printed newspapers are sadly becoming a thing of the past.
The University Daily Kansan is removing their newspaper distribution boxes throughout campus as they transition to entirely online publishing. Editor-in-Chief Steph Manchin gave us the rundown.
There were stacks of the newspapers sitting out. Nobody was opening them, nobody was reading them. So we made the hard decision to get rid of the blue boxes because we weren't going to go back to printing. We decided that our audience wasn't there. They were telling us they weren't there. They were on social media and on the website, and that's kind of the way the world's going. So we kind of decided to make that switch with them.
Don't worry, KU basketball fans, the Kansan will continue special print publishing for home games to continue the confetti tradition before tip-off.
In other news on campus, bus routes could be changing for the better. Reporter Keegan Hewitt has the latest.
As the Lawrence Public Transit works to redesign bus routes in the Lawrence community, as well as designing and putting in the new transfer center, they're turning to the community for their opinion on how to make these routes as effective as possible.
The last 6 months has been a lot of kind of technical work, looking at where throughout the city is there ridership demand. So that could be based on past ridership, but it's also based on where do people live in our community who are more prone to ride transit.
With the new transfer facility being put in just west of campus on Bob Billings and Crestline, as well as these new redesigned bus routes, it leaves the Lawrence Transit with some open-ended questions.
Would you rather the bus come more often or run later into the evening? Would you rather us focus on Monday through Saturday service or add some service to Sundays?
For more information or upcoming announcements regarding the route redesign in our community, make sure to check out lawrencetransit.org/route redesign. Lawrence Transit also asks you take their survey to give them any ideas or opinions about how to better this system moving forward. You can find that survey at lawrencekansas.org/listens/surveys.
So the intent is to try to really suss out what is most important to people, and that'll help us build a final recommended scenario towards the end of this year.
Adam Weigel of the Lawrence Transit said he plans on having the new redesigned routes implemented by August of 2022, the same time the new transfer facility is set to open west of campus. For KUJH News, this is Keegan Hewitt.
I personally think creating an updated bus route will be helpful to all students and faculty to get to and from places on campus. What do you think?
I agree. I get confused sometimes with the bus routes, but I look forward to having that new system.
After the break, we will have a personal feature story about who's the face behind the Lawrence police scanner.
And a look at the mobile dental clinic. Stay with us.
Welcome back. All of us are curious or maybe even fearful when we hear the sound of a siren nearby. Thanks to the hard work of a Lawrence man, finding out what is going on is just the click of a button away. The disconnect between what we know and what we think we know is what motivated August Redussel in 2016 to make a change.
I, at the time, believed Lawrence was this rare utopia of nonviolence and low crime and very few police activities. And then once I got into dispatch and was on the other side of the information wall, I understood how much actually happens in town, and I enjoyed being aware of what was happening.
He was inspired to create the Lawrence Police Scanner page on Facebook. That page now has 50,000 followers with upwards of 1 million views a month.
Just grew and grew over the next 2, 3, 4 years. And then in 2019, I wanted to expand our access to our outreach of who we could reach, and realized Twitter was definitely a realm we wanted to get into.
Redussel has a partner that helps with the Facebook page, but Twitter he runs alone.
There are 24 hours in a day, and there are police calls all night long. But we have to sleep, and I have to go to work, sometimes I can't listen.
On an average day, he listens to the scanner for 15 to 16 hours. But to Russell, it's all worth it.
Information to residents of this town and the county as quickly as possible and accurately as possible is always going to be a goal. That's why we're willing to sacrifice the hours and the time with family and the time with hobbies, is because keeping an ear on the scanner and keeping that flow of information and access to information to everyone is the whole, what motivates us.
Follow the Lawrence Police Scanner on Twitter or Facebook to stay updated with all emergency activity around town.
An on-campus mobile dental clinic is providing more accessible dental care to students. What more do you have for us, Dre?
Watkins Health Services taking care of your teeth is important, and this clinic is helping students do that in a more convenient way. Take a look. The Smile on site to create a mobile dental clinic for students on campus. The clinic began 2 months ago, and before then, Watkins had not provided dental services. Ellen Herman, the administrative director at Watkins, believed it was time for a change.
We just didn't have the resources to bring the equipment and utilities and everything on site to do that. So I started looking for other options and came across a mobile dental clinic.
Love to Smile on-site provides students with a wide range of services.
They do fillings and crowns and other services like teeth whitening. They also can do implants for Invisalign. So I think they have a great variety of services that they can offer here on campus.
Love to Smile on-site is a 100% digital office with technology such as scanners and x-ray machines that dentist Dr. Sunny Patel described in more detail.
We have digital x-rays, we have 3D digital cone beam x-rays, which allows us to see any part of the skull. We're also a platinum provider for Invisalign, so we have all the Invisalign scanners, and we do digital scanning for that, so that way we can have all our records digital, but it can also show before and afters better than the conventional methods.
Dr. Patel believes this technology adds to the convenience factor of the clinic.
A lot of our stuff on this unit is made for convenience and time savings, and I think we've achieved that very well.
In just their second time on campus, numbers have increased, which is a positive sign for the clinic.
For this week, they have quadrupled the number of appointments that they have. So we can see that the word is getting out there and it's growing. So that's a good thing. And we hope to be able to keep them busy enough that they want to continue to come here and offer the service here on campus.
For KUJH, I'm Dre Bradley.
Thanks, Dre. For more information on this clinic, visit studenthealth.ku.edu/dental services.
After the break, Jaylen Wilhite will bring us this week's weather forecast. Stay tuned.
No one takes drugs expecting to become addicted. You should know that addiction can happen to anyone because it's a disease of the brain. That also means recovery is possible. Addiction doesn't have to be permanent, and the state of Kansas is ready to assist you in every step of the way. Visit findtreatment.gov or call the Kansas Substance Abuse Referral Line at 866-645-8216.
Hello everyone, my name is Jaylen Wilhite here with your weather forecast for this evening. A couple of the headlines I'm going to be talking about today. We've got cool weather so far for the next couple days, although we're going to be eventually starting to see a little bit of a gradual warming up going towards the end of this week. Also going to be staying on the drier side for this week as well, and going to be taking a look ahead into next week and maybe looking at the possibility of a chance of rain or snow making its way into the forecast, but still a little bit on that iffy side, but still going to take a look at it. But so far, one thing I wanted to bring up besides we didn't quite see any kind of snow in the area the other day on Monday. We only got to see rain showers in the area, though parts of Kansas City did get to see a few flurries get in a mix, at least mixed in with some of those rain showers we saw on Monday. But the real people who did get to see a lot of snow was in Nebraska, seeing a lot of snow on Monday night, or at least I should say early Monday morning and those early morning hours, seeing a lot of snow-packed roads. And check out these snow totals already for the beginning of November. 7.5 inches of snowfall recorded in Sutherland, Nebraska. 7.5 inches also recorded in Grant, Nebraska as well, and holding on to those 6.1 inches in Hershey, Nebraska as well. A lot of snow for November, although don't have to worry about any kind of snowfalls for today, as we're going to be seeing mostly sunny conditions, a little bit on the cooler side with temperatures hanging up at least a high of 49 degrees for today. No precipitation, and winds pretty relatively calm for this evening, and looking to stay relatively calm going into this evening, and we'll stay in those lower 40s going into the evening hours, and eventually kicking down into those upper 30s, 38 degrees by 11 o'clock. If you're going to be out for the KU basketball game tonight, definitely want to wear that little bit of a heavier jacket for tonight, as it may be a little bit on the chillier side, and definitely into tonight, as we'll be at a low of 33 degrees, just 1 degree shy of that freezing point. Overall, very chilly night ahead for us. Definitely want to wear that heavier coat out for tonight and tomorrow morning as well, but definitely won't need it for too much longer, as we'll be at a high of 53 degrees for tomorrow. Mostly sunny conditions. Overall, very pleasant out for our Thursday, and looking to stay relatively, as much more dry for the rest of this week and going into the weekend. But just taking a look at least our next possible system by next Wednesday and even into early Thursday as well. Going to be watching for this low pressure system swinging on by. Could see that a cold front going to be swinging on through in our area. Could see the possibility of some showers and possibly a few snowflakes trying to make in. It all has to depend on where these blue lines are going to be. These blue lines are what indicate where it's going to be below freezing, and when it's below freezing, that's when we get snow. So we're going to be keeping a very close eye on the system as it will track through later on mid next week. But so far, it is still a very low chance at that, but still something to keep a consideration going into next week. And just to look at the 6 to 10 day outlook, temperatures as before, they're going to start warming up, and we're going to stay a little bit more on the at least slightly above our average temperatures going in for the next several of days. And precipitation looks to be relatively dry as well. And the 7-day forecast is going to show us just that. Plenty of sunshine to work with for the rest of this week. We'll be slowly climbing into those lower and mid 50s, and then by Saturday we'll finally break into those lower 60s. 64 degrees are high on Saturday. The KU K-State football game should be a relatively great afternoon and evening to have that game. And also Sunday, 66 degrees, getting just even a little bit warmer. Also daylight savings time from Sunday, still great weather ahead for us. I'm going to be climbing into those upper 60s eventually by next Tuesday, and then we're still going to be continuing to keep an eye on that next system going into next Wednesday and Thursday. But so far, a really dry and relatively pleasant week ahead for us. And as before, daylight saving time is on Sunday. Be sure to set your clocks back 1 hour so at least you'll get an extra hour of sleep, but just keep an eye on that. Now that's all I have this weather forecast. Stay tuned for more KUJH News.
For students searching for a way to stay active in an outdoorsy way, the City of Lawrence has bike trails running in every direction, and with the new bike share program, we can stay in shape as we tour the sights of our beautiful city. Clinton Lake is only a short 30-minute bike ride away from Daisy Hill and has the most incredible sunset location in all of Lawrence. Walking campus may give you the KU calves, but biking can give you the KU thighs. Bike Lawrence today.
Welcome back. It's a big day for KU as Jayhawk fans await the first men's basketball game of the season. KUJH's Keegan Hewitt joins us live from Allen Fieldhouse. Keegan, what's it like to finally be back?
Yes, Moreno, with expectations high for the Jayhawk season, they hope to get off to a hot start tonight against the Emporia State Hornets. As it's been nearly 2 years since fans have been able to pack the Fieldhouse, the Jayhawks are eager to get in there. With the doors opening under the DeBruce Center and campers waiting out here for 5 o'clock, it should be an exciting game night. And don't worry, if you're a Jayhawks fan, it's not too late to grab your gear, bring the energy, and rock chalk. Thanks, Moreno. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Keegan. It's great to see KU fans back at the Fieldhouse. Last year just wasn't the same without them. The Atlanta Braves secured a Game 6 World Series win last night after beating out the Houston Astros 7-0. Each team was held scoreless in the first 2 innings, which were highlighted by a couple of stellar defensive plays. But from there, it was all offense and all Atlanta. Jorge Soler, the former Royal, got things started in the top of the 3rd with a monster 3-run homer. Seriously, the ball left the ballpark. Let's go now to the top of the 5th. Dansby Swanson at the plate with the runner on second. Swanson sends the 2-2 pitch to deep left field to give the Braves a 5-0 lead over the Astros. Same inning, Freddie Freeman doubles to drive in Jorge Soler, tacking one more run on the board. Then, top 7, Freddie Freeman again, with 2 outs, goes yard with a bomb to center to put the nail in the coffin and make it 7-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the 9th with 2 outs, Yuli Gurriel sends a chopper to Swanson, who completes the throw to Freeman for the World Series winning out, and the Atlanta Braves become champions. The Braves offense was doing its thing all game, but it wouldn't be fair to not also mention Braves starter Max Fried, who pitched an absolute gem. Fried went 6 innings and became the first starter in history to have 6 strikeouts, no walks, and no runs in a potential World Series clinching game. And lastly, a headline all Kansas City fans can be happy to hear: Jorge Soler is the 2021 World Series MVP. Soler spent the first half of this season with the Royals before being traded to Atlanta at the deadline. Moving now to KU sports, the Sunflower Showdown is coming to town this weekend as KU football faces rival Kansas State. The Jayhawks are looking to secure just their 2nd win of the season, while the Wildcats hope to make it 3 straight wins to put them at 6-3 on the year. KU took quite the beating from Oklahoma State last weekend, losing 55-3. Hopefully, Kansas can move on from that loss with more energy and motivation coming into the upcoming game against K-State. Kickoff is at 11 a.m. this Saturday. We're going to take a quick break right now, but when we come back, Camden Fogo gives us a look at Week 8 NFL action. Stay with us.
Welcome back to KUJH News. Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs III is facing a driving under the influence charge after a crash Tuesday morning that left a woman and her dog dead. Ruggs and his passenger were hospitalized, but officials described them as non-life-threatening. Prosecutor Eric Bowman said Ruggs was traveling 156 miles per hour 2 seconds before the crash and was going 127 miles per hour when the airbags went off. Ruggs' blood alcohol content was twice the legal limit. The Raiders released a statement on Twitter saying the Raiders are aware of an accident involving Henry Ruggs and they are devastated by the loss of life, and their thoughts and prayers go out to the family's victim. Ruggs faces a possible sentence of 2 to 20 years in state prison and was released from the Raiders. Aaron Rodgers tested positive for COVID-19 this morning and will be out for this week's game against the Chiefs. Jordan Love will be quarterback for the Packers as the Chiefs are coming off of a 20-17 victory against the Jets. Despite the Packers not having their top 3 receivers, they handed the Cardinals their first loss of the season Thursday night. Rasul Douglas intercepted a pass with 12 seconds left to seal the Packers' victory 24-21. Douglas was on the Cardinals' practice squad less than a month before Thursday night's game with the Packers. The trade deadline was Tuesday evening, and there were some pretty big trades. Steelers outside linebacker Melvin Ingram was traded to the Chiefs for a 6th-round pick in the 2022 draft. The Broncos traded their star outside linebacker Von Miller to the Rams in exchange for a 2nd and 3rd-round pick. The Rams also waived veteran wide receiver Deshaun Jackson. Should be pretty interesting to see if the Raiders try and pick up Jackson following the release of Henry Ruggs. That's all I have for the NFL this week. After the break, Keegan Hewitt will have a live look at Allen Fieldhouse.
From adversity, we rose. We made history and became pioneers, voyagers, champions, Jayhawks. And when our chant rises, haunting and hallowed, Jayhawks are telling the world what's near. Victory.
It's finally basketball season, and students are absolutely pumped for KU's exhibition game against Emporia State tonight. We're headed back to KUJHNews now at Allen Fieldhouse as fans begin to gather.
Yes, guys, thanks. We're just about 3 hours away from tip-off here outside Allen Fieldhouse. Now we've got more campers and students lined up. I had the chance to talk to a few of them about what they're excited for tonight. They're excited to get back into the full atmosphere, have the full student section, full fans yelling, get back into some of the traditions like ripping up the newspaper, getting the confetti in the air. They're excited just to be back for another season of Kansas basketball. Thanks, guys. We'll send it back to you in the studio. That's all we got from Allen Fieldhouse.
Thanks, Keegan. I know all students are excited for the basketball games to finally continue again. Daylight savings time ends this Sunday at 2:00 a.m., so remember to set your clock back an hour and enjoy that extra hour of sleep.
I'm definitely looking forward to that extra hour of sleep, but I'm not going to lie, I'm a little disappointed that we'll be losing that hour of sunlight. It might get dark right around 5 o'clock now, and that's a little bit early for me.
I agree. I'm going to miss the sunlight more than getting the extra hour of sleep. That's all for KUJH News this week. Be sure to tune in every Wednesday at 4:00 p.m. for KUJH News. Follow our socials on Twitter at KUJH_KU and our Instagram at KUJH News. I'm Emily Johnson.
And I'm Ryan Butler. Have a great evening.